Hey guys, it's Ishir for the Beta Fish Facts on YouTube, and I received some questions regarding my 20 gallon of how I maintain it so clean. So I'm going to be talking about what filter I use, how I clean my gravel because I have soil under it, and yeah, I'll be talking about how I maintain my tank and what are some tips I have. So first I'll start off with my filter, what I'm using. I'm using a really basic filter, the Aqueon. It's meant for a 10 gallon aquarium, but I'm using it on my 20 because I wanted to under filter it because of my beta fish. I didn't want to have problems with having a filter that was too strong, and so far so good. It's not giving me any issues, and my water has been maintained clean, and everything is healthy in here. My neon tetras are fine. I think it's fine too because I'm only really keeping my 8 neon tetras, my beta fish, and also the auto catfish here, and the ghost shrimp. So I don't have a lot of fish in my tank, so I'm not overstocking it or fully stocking my aquarium. So this thing is doing the job. I got it for free. It came with a 10 gallon tank. I got it for $15, I believe. The 10 gallon tank and this filter came with it, so it was a deal. And it's been doing really well. I usually recommend people to under filter for their tanks when they have beta fish, just because your beta fish can usually tire out, or it's going to be swimming around, it's going to be pushed around by your filter. But I've been having really good success with this filter. Sometimes my beta will be on the floor and it looks like he's tired of swimming a lot just because he's a half moon and whatnot, and his finish is really heavy on him. But otherwise the filter's not that bad. He deals with it. He swims around the tank and he knows the places now that don't have a lot of flow. I also got the question if I use soil and CO2 in my tank. The answer is no. I only use soil. I use Miracle-Gro, the organic choice. I started watching Dustin's fish tanks, and I was really amazed by how the concept of having dirt under your substrate and whatnot. And so far so good. My plants are pretty green and growing healthy, and I haven't seen the need for CO2. I might get another light maybe, because this light looks like it isn't cutting it. It isn't really covering the whole tank pretty well. Looks like it just gets to midsection. So I might get another one or change the light setup or something. But I kind of like this whole hanging the light over the aquarium. But otherwise, I use Miracle-Gro under the substrate. I decided to only put dirt on half of the tank, so only the back side of the tank has dirt. I did this because I wasn't really planning on planting it heavily, so I didn't want a bunch of dirt in the front when there was nothing being planted there. So I didn't want to have too many nutrients in the tank, and it really worked out well because I don't have a lot of nutrients in my tank, and the nitrates aren't high, and I'm not having problems with that. So if you're planning to only put some plants in the tank, I recommend only putting dirt in the sections that you're planning to plant the tank. I also got asked how I maintain my tank so clean and neat. What I actually do is I actually make it as easy as possible for myself to change the water. So all I do is really get a container like this one. I have some airline tubing, and I usually siphon out the water. And what I usually do is I will clean the bottom of the tank. I'll move the substrate a little bit, and whatever floats up I'll catch with the siphon. And that usually helps maintain the gravel and whatnot at the bottom, just because some food can fall in there, and the ghost shrimp don't sometimes get everything. So I believe make it as easy as possible for yourself to change the water. That way you're more willing to change the water. My biggest tip that I can give you in fish keeping and aquarium keeping and whatnot: don't wait for the weekend to change your water. Do it every so often. I do it every 2 days, every day, whatever it is I have to do. I change the water out and I just put some new water in. It takes me like 5 minutes most, to do that. So if you find it if you make it as easy as possible for yourself, you know, you'll find keeping a tank a lot easier. So that's the biggest tip I can give you guys. And you know, by changing your water every day and cleaning the glass, you know, I use a squeegee to clean the glass, you know, so every time I take the water out, I usually squeeze the glass and whatnot, and it removes stuff. So yeah, that's the best way to do it. If you guys have any more questions, I'm glad to answer your questions. I'll make a video about it later.